Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play Mountain Blade Warband. Rose's Journey with the Floris mod. Well, Floris Expanded mod, but same difference, right? Anyways, we've advanced time again because a lot of what I was doing was essentially loot grinding, so I figured that wouldn't be too interesting to watch. As for what I was loot grinding for, you can see it right here. I own a ship now. And I was in fact saving up for that because of the little fact that ships cost 50,000 dinars, so I basically spent a stupid amount of time looting the Rodoks and the Nords because the Khergit made peace. As for why the Rodoks, well, they declared war on the Kingdom of Swadia. And you'll notice they now own Uxal. The Swadians are kind of getting shafted right now. As are the Khergits, actually. Which Rose is quite happy to see. The Khergits have just recently lost Tolga here to the Serenid Sultanate. Meaning, the Khergit Khanate, if we look at them on the map, now has 5 castles and 1 town left under their control. If they lose that town, they are a dead faction, as far as I'm concerned. So, I'm thinking I may alter my plans and actually side with the Serenids and become their vassal, as opposed to becoming a vassal to the Swadians, which was my original plan, back when the Swadians were doing pretty decent. And also on the subject of the Khergits, they have lost Kudan, which they took off the Magyars way back. They no longer hold that. But the political situation with the Khanate is not going to be much of the focus in this episode. You see, the other thing worth mentioning is I've actually broken my mercenary contract with the Swadians. I spent about 2-3 months as a mercenary for them and then decided to not renew that contract. Well, the contract itself was good and I was turning a nice profit and everything. When the Rodoks took Uxal, that became something of a problem for me. Because Uxal has one of my industries in it, and therefore I am getting about 400 gold of my income out of the place. See, 346. Now, I'm losing 500 a month from my forces right now as of wages for my ship's crew and my party and everything, but we have our 2 industries, which is offsetting that quite a bit. And I also have that land I'm cultivating at Drim. Speaking of land, I've been saying that I want to do some in Praven, but I'm going to hold off on that. At the moment, our fleet is up here in the north. Well, I say our fleet, our ship. Because I've been doing some raiding, basically. Both the conventional kind of land and attack small town, where I burn it down for their stuff, and less conventional kind, where I am basically raiding the Sea Raiders. Yes, really. Speaking of Sea Raiders, there's 19 of them right there. I think it's time to raid their asses. This episode is probably, I should mention, just in case anyone's not too into this, this episode's going to be mostly me conducting some sea battles. Just because I am kind of on a sea battle high at the moment. And I recruited some new troops from down in Serenid territory. And I want to get them a little bit experienced. We have 60 troops now against their 19 because I did upgrade my leadership, so I'm able to field more men. But before I actually go and try and take a castle, I think I want to have at least 100 men with some decent levels of experience. Now though, let's close in and board the enemy. Close in? What the hell is that? Everyone attack! And just generally because of how chaotic things are on these sea battles and how difficult it is for me to actually tell the difference between my men and the enemies. With all the ships and stuff, and because everyone is clumped together, I generally just let my men go at it. I take some losses to be sure, but I always seem to take a few losses when I go up against sea raiders. That's just how things go. That was a pretty straightforward fight. We lost 6 men. A couple of mercenary Brabazons, whom I rescued from sea raiders before, a longbowman, a peasant, a Nord gridman, and one of whatever that is. Yeah, I still don't know what even half these units are, to be honest. And I can get a couple of you guys in. And a Huskarl. And 2 of you. Now we're at our party limit. And 2 of my companions' characters have leveled up. I'll grab a sergeant at arms. Let's upgrade you. Upgrade you. Upgrade you guys. And I'm just throwing in the upgrades whenever I get them, because I'm making enough money off my looting and raiding to easily stay above the 10,000 gold mark right now. And a lot more than that if I'm plundering villages on a regular basis. A hell of a lot more. There. And our companions can yoink the other stuff into their inventory. Yeah, as you can tell, the Nords don't like us very much right now. Shocking, I know. Actually, I should maybe have just given my companions fucking everything here. Would have been easier. So I'll just hand over what I can so I have space for some more loot. Fortunately, our companions have quite a bit of inventory space, so I can let them have that stuff. And then, let's see here. That's a lot of Nords. I would like to do the whole pirate mercenary thing, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. I'm not fighting a second group of sea raiders right now. I'm more interested in being a raider at this moment in time. We'll land the ship. and then head over to this town to plunder it. Loot and burn the village. Of course, it's just going to be the one bit of plundering because I have to head down to the Serenid Sultanate. I have a quest for them that I've now completed, where I have to provoke a war with the Nords, something I have now done. So, it's time to get my reward for that, I think. There we go. Let's rearrange my food. And we're off. Once we get on the ship, that is. This is actually kind of fun, though I have to admit. I am basically playing as a Viking. In Florida. I'm basically playing as a Viking in Warband, as opposed to in Viking Conquest, which I never really played much Viking Conquest or got into it that much. Not sure why. And let's dock it brave and proper. And we can now go to the marketplace and sell our loot from that little plundering expedition of ours. They have nearly 10,000 dinars they can use to buy it. That'll get us 7,157 dinars. Puts us over the 20 grand mark. Nice indeed. So we'll visit the port and set sail. And I'm heading down to Serenid territory to turn in that particular quest, I think. After which, we may head back north to do a little bit more raiding of sea raiders. Or we may just mess around in Serenid territory and see if I can't, say, find some desert bandits to fight, because that's the one faction that I haven't fought any bandits from yet. We've done sea raiders, tundra bandits, looters, forest bandits, and hell, even deserters. But I haven't fought any desert bandits yet, or taiga bandits for that matter, which I think are the ones in Khergit lands. So that's next on my list. Let's not hit the shorelines, because the whole thing with the ship is that if you bump into the shore, it thinks you want to land. Anyways, dock at the port. Let's see. Talk to Sheikh Tilimsan and let him know I provoked a war. First, let's see if the Sultan has any jobs for us. I may as well go whole hog on trying to get some work down here, since I've already decided I want to be their subject at some point. Ruler of the Serenid Sultanate and Lord of Tolga, Shariz, and Jamike Castle. My fame runs before me, apparently. It's time that you sought a liege worthy of your valor. Do you have any tasks for me? Collect taxes from Tolga, and I get 1/5 of them. Fair's fair. This is going to piss off the people of Tolga because they don't like the taxation thing forced on them, but oh well. And Tolga is all the way over there. Former Khanate territory, which would probably be why they're not paying taxes. They don't like their new overlord. And I'm not going to bother to let what's-his-face know that I didn't manage to follow that spy successfully. I'm pretty sure that quest is bugged in some form or another also, because the spy literally did not spawn. Anyways, there's this guy. He's the Lord of Diban and Uzga. Uzga Castle. I'll head to the last place I saw him, even if that report is like 12 days old, and just see what happens. Political, diplomatic nonsense happening in the background. Yeah. And there's some desert bandits. Let's see, 6.9. Yeah, there's no way we're catching those guys. It ain't happening. Let's head into the castle and see if we can get directions. Sheikh Tilimsan would be who we ask for. Hey there. Between Ichimor and Dirig Aban. Okay. That is quite far. It's also Khergit territory. It is indeed. So I'm just not gonna bother for now. Well, I say that. I'm heading up to collect taxes from Tolga. If I run across him while I'm in the region, then I might do. We're also going to be avoiding the Nords for a little while, minus the odd raiding along their coast, considering that they're not too fond of us because of said raiding. And it's tax collection time. The people want us to stop. No. I don't care about your opinion, give me money. I'm losing money from my men, of course. More because I made some upgrades. Fortunately, I have a lot of money right now, so it's not too much of a concern. Oh, looky here. We have a peasant revolt. I haven't actually had one of these happen yet in this playthrough. Usually, they're deterred enough by the large professional army I bring to their doorstep to not pull this shit, but under these circumstances, they're not deterred, it seems. So, time to put down a revolt. Peasants, thinking they can rebel against their betters. What's next? Executing their king and sticking his head on a spike? Honestly. Your quick action and strong arm have successfully put down the revolt. Surely anyone with a mind to rebel against you will think better of it after this. Good, good. Now let's get the rest of those taxes. And we have over 5,000 waiting for us over in Drim, if I ever manage to get my ass over there to collect it, because I do own land over there. This is one of those things with land ownership in that whole respect. Unfortunately, you have to collect it manually, which makes things a little bit tricky. Yes, I don't particularly care about your ramblings. Now shut up. Oh look, step bandits. That's 60 of them. Do I want to try that? I don't think so. Not against 60. 36 on the other hand, that's just about manageable. Screw you. Everyone charge! We have some bandits to kill. And mounted bandits, for a change. Pretty much all the bandits we've gone up against so far, with the exception of those ones up in Vaegir territory, have been on foot. This will make things interesting. That's for sure. I've never been too fond of having to fight against mounted enemies, just because I find it a touch annoying. And it never seems to go my way, because the terrain's either shitty or I can't get my charges off at a good angle and things go badly wrong. It depends, but how well it goes tends to be 50-50. Now, if my men could get the fuck out of the way, and if I wouldn't accidentally move my mouse over onto my secondary screen, then things would go better. Yeah, I charge into the horse rather than killing the man on the horse. Things like that aren't overly uncommon for me. There's a step bandit down. And there's a few more that still need to be dealt with. Our first loss to the battle, huh? It was a Huskarl though, so that's a bit unfortunate. I'm killing you. You are dying. And I don't even care. Oh no, you are not getting away from me. I hate riding horses uphill. I utterly detest it. And I got lanced in the ass because I wasn't paying attention. Wonderful. Fucking wonderful. Well, he's fucked. And there's maybe 1-2 more enemies left. All of them are horsey people. Down goes horsey person. So we lost 2 and had 5 wounded. Let's see, a Huscarl and a Swadian Jacobite. Let's hope these aren't like the French Jacobites, or I'll have to stop recruiting them. I'll take all the bandits prisoner, and that guy and those 2 caravan guards can come in to supplement my forces after the losses. And we have lots and lots of horses. Which should, if I recall correctly, having lots of horses makes you move faster. So I will make use of that, I think. That's our inventory full, so companions, take the rest. Wait. I thought having horses in my inventory made us move faster. We're moving slower. What the hell? Unless that's just a consequence of having prisoners being dragged behind us. No fucking clue. Let's just rearrange where I'm sticking the food. And buy a little more of said food. We have just shy of 30 grand now. I'm not doing too bad. And into the tavern. Sigmund. That guy lets us buy some generic troops from him, basically. I'm doing a shit job of explaining it. And 520 dinars for all our prisoners. Good, good. I'm doing a shit job of explaining it, but the troops he sells are basically generalists. Whereas the ones that you recruit and train yourselves from peasants are specialists, is the best way I can think to put it. Let's see if we can't catch up with those steppe bandits. We can't. Why the hell are we moving so slow? I don't get it. You cannot seriously be telling me that having all these horses makes us slower. I could have sworn that having horses, they acted as pack animals, and therefore made you move faster. I am confused. Well, we're up to 4.5 now. That's 62 of them. How about not? There are a lot of steppe bandits around here, but as we saw from that battle, they're not that big of a deal to take on. What I'm gonna do now, though, is head back to Cherise. That's where our ship is, and what I want to do now is get on board said ship and do a bit of raiding. Both of sea raiders and of the Nords. Because, well, we don't like the Nords very much. Well, actually, we have nothing against the Nords. But their coastal settlements are nice and exposed for a good old-fashioned raid. Even if it does cut into our honor a bit. Actually, you know, it's a good thing for the Khergits. They don't have any coastline, or I would be raiding them more. The Nords are the next best thing for raiding, though. Is basically what's going on there. But I'm going to go fight some sea raiders on the sea. When I say I'm going to fight them, I mean that I'm going to command my men to board their ships and sit back to watch the action, because in the confused melee that you get out of those sea battles, there's not a whole lot that I can do to influence the outcome, really. Turney and Rafidin, don't care. Not a whole lot during those confused melees that I can do to influence the outcome of the battle, so really, I'll get about as much out of it if I just let my men do the fighting than I would from actually trying to participate. Ho ho! Sea Raiders. 29 of them. So we will save it. And fight. After I catch up. Surrender or die? And of course, they never fucking surrender. Close in and board the enemy. Because of course, they never escape our boarding actions. Since we have plot magic. Or possibly magic. I'm not entirely sure about that. Edwin is always fucking getting knocked out. I need to get him some better armor. I really do. Some of our lower tier troops are dying, and some of our higher tier ones too, and getting knocked unconscious, but given the close range melee, and all, honestly, I expect some losses coming out of a battle like this. Okay. There's a few more than I would have liked. Apparently, they have a few professionals. Because I'm seeing the names of some actual veteran units on the Sea Raider side. They're not just unwashed barbarians who like to raid and shit. So I lost 11 people. For 16 killed and 13 wounded. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty good, given that a lot of my losses are going to be fairly low-end ones. Let's see here. I'll take those, but I'm pretty sure I just wrote out crossbowmen. And all of those guys. Those guys. 2 Nord Huskarls. 1 of whatever the hell you are. Another archer militia. Whatever you are. Let's just make all our upgrades. You can upgrade to a Swadian Chevalier. What is this? Fucking Orlais? Honestly. Yeah, we have a company of 61 men now. Very nice. collect the loot. Wait a second, why am I collecting this? I should leave that to my men, since I want to be able to do a little bit of plundering. Let my heroes select gear to upgrade themselves, and let them grab everything they can. Cullum is still looted, so I'm going to have to go somewhere a touch more dangerous than that. Bulin here. That seems like a good pick to me. Now, we save the game. And I will plunder their village, whilst dragging along our captives. Hostile action, loot and burn. Loot and burn. Wait a second. That castle is awfully close by. I should maybe do a little scouting first. Oh, that's a sizable Nord army. I don't think they'll take kindly to me raiding a village over here. Let's find somewhere else. Let's find somewhere else. This is a bit ambitious for a seaborne raid to go this far inland, but it's far enough from any castles that I'm not so worried about a retaliation force. We'll loot and burn the village. Phew, that was a big army that just missed us. We really lucked out there. And it is the Butter Village that we have plundered. All hail the Butter Lord. Seriously? This still kind of cracks me up that you get villages with literally nothing but fucking butter. That is so damn funny. Right. I'll give up one loaf of bread to be able to have all the butter. And now, with the butter in hand, we will head back to our ship. Now, with our freshly plundered goods, it's time for us to make like the Vikings and head down the river. But not to raid somewhere this time, no, to sell our plunder. Yeah, you see what I mean about it? Doing weird shit like that just when you make contact with the coast. Yeah. So yeah, I just navigate this river line and then we will land the ship there and head over to Craw, or Currao. I honestly don't know how you pronounce it. Where I will sell my plundered goods. Keep an eye on that money, they only have 3,200 at the goods merchant. which is fortunately more than what I'm going to need. I will however sell some of my horses and pick up some bread, so 2,400 instead. There we go. Just shy of 30 grand. Very nice. I could start making some upgrades to my companions now, and still have enough money to not go broke when payday comes around. That's going to be how we pay for upgrading our companions' gear, I think. Loot, loot, and more loot. Wait a second. Did I seriously do that? Yep, I forgot to sell any of the gear that we picked up from the Sea Raiders. Oh well. Honestly, I think this is where we're going to end this episode. Raiding on the high seas. So now, not only is Rose a mercenary, not only are we a mercenary, and theoretically a future vassal of the Serenid Sultanate, we're also a Viking. Who saw that coming? Because I sure as shit didn't. See you next time.